Where's the ego coming from? What have you done that you can have this ego? Meryl Streep can have an ego. George Clooney can have it. Timothy Chalamet can have an ego. What have you done that you have this ego with nothing to stand behind it?
All right, welcome to the Chazz Palminteri Show. It's Monday, a new show every Monday at 11 o'clock. We have a new show. I'd like to remind you, if you want to go see the one-man show, it's on a national tour right now. I have a couple of dates in April. John, where am I in April?
So April 11th, you're in Atlantic City, New Jersey at the Ocean Casino Resort.
Atlantic City, Ocean Casino, April 11th.
And April 13th, you're in Ridgefield, Connecticut at the Ridgefield Playhouse.
Love that place. Ridgefield, it's right close to my house, so it's a hop, skip, and a jump. Don't forget, go to my restaurants, mention my name. You get free desserts on the house, homemade desserts. 30 West 46th Street, 264 Main Street, Chazz Palminteri Italian restaurant. You will not be disappointed. John, we love to have the girls back. We got the girls back. Tara Cannistraci.
Hello, everybody.
Kathrine Narducci, here they are. They've been off, making movies, performing all over the country. I had to beg them to come back. They're big stars now. I had to beg them to come back, but they're back now. All right, so John, we got some questions that people want answers.
We got some questions. This one's kind of interesting. This person's asking, why do some people make it and other people fold?
Well, there's a lot of something that goes into that. You know, how good they are, how much perseverance they have, how disciplined they are. I mean, girls, you know, many talented people never make it. I mean, I know there's many geniuses. They just never make it.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
I just heard something interesting. I just thought of it. And the only reason I'm interrupting is because I will forget I have ADD.
Go ahead.
I heard something very interesting that I loved. And it said, some people don't make it because they really just don't want it. And that subconsciously they don't want it, but they're saying that they want to make it. They're saying, I want to be an actor, singer, writer, painter. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. And really, it's not. And sometimes I have many friends that I thought to myself, wow, I'm a very persistent person. That's how I even got where I am today. And I don't give up. But if the universe was throwing all the no's at me, no matter what I did, however I went into it, I think I would listen and realize, okay, maybe it's just not for me. And that's when this thing came in that I heard. You really don't want it. So the universe gives you what you need, they say, and what you want. And if what you don't want, the universe doesn't give you.
I don't know. That's...
Sometimes you can say it all
Do you
day
think that
long.
applies in all things to life? Like, I have a friend that's like, I really want to get married. I really want to get married. But she says no to like every date. And I'm like, but how
There
bad
you
do
go.
you want it?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well,
Perfect.
Success is much scarier than not making it. Success is much harder than failure.
Yes.
Failure, you just don't have to do anything. Just don't do anything, you'll fail. But success is you got to do a lot of stuff.
But there's things called self-sabotage.
Oh, yeah. Some people they have an attitude. They're so talented, but I knew this person, what a great actor she was. But she always had an attitude and always said something to someone to piss them off. And after a while, people just go, fuck her. I don't want to hire her no more. And they stopped hiring her.
It's not worth the aggravation for the talent. Like, you'd rather work with somebody maybe even a little less talented who brings more to the
table. Yeah.
A comic once told me that, Josh Wolf, I'll shout him out. said to me, there's so many facets to like bringing another comic on the road with you, because he would bring me on the road to his shows,
Yeah.
and I felt so grateful for the opportunity to work for
Yeah.
him. And one time, I'll never forget, this comic who was a really funny guy that used to open for him was at one of the shows and just came in the green room to say hi. But you can tell the guy was like a little strung out and loud and maybe on something. And then after he left, it was like one of those things where Josh like relayed the message to me, like, you got to be more than just funny. You got to be able to be a good hang. You got to be able to like,
Right.
you know,
You have to have a likability.
you have to have a likability factor to you on and off stage.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you know, I can find somebody either, you know, just as funny or, you know.
Yeah, and
That's
you
a better
can't
hang.
seem like you can't, don't push, don't reach, don't force.
Right.
There's a way to not overdo it. And you have to be self-aware. You have to know what you're good at and who you are and where you stand in the business. So in other words, and this is no insult to anybody. Look, I'm going to use myself. I'll be the first one to use myself. I never looked at myself as a leading lady. And it's not because I think less of myself whatsoever. I just know exactly what a leading lady looks like in Hollywood and what a leading lady is. What looks wise. Do I think I'm pretty? I think I'm pretty. Do I think I'm, you know, a good actor? I think I'm a good actor. But do I think I'm a leading lady? It don't mean the best of the best. You're the lead. That means you're the best thing. I just know my lane. I know I'm a character actor. I like being a character actor. I can be a lead in a really good indie, like the lead woman who's, I don't know, on this journey to do a road trip with a blah, 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 with her sister, and blah, 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 and be the lead, but not leading lady. I'm not Nicole Kidman. I'm not Margot Robbie. And I don't mean age-wise. I mean, I'm not that. And I never was, and nor do I want to be. I'm happy with who I am. I'm self-aware, and I love who I am and what I do.
But you're happy in your own skin.
I'm happy in my, but there's these people that have attitudes that feel like they're not self-aware, and they think that there's something they're not. And that's why the world is, it's not really going in their direction. It's not going to go easy.
But that self-awareness got you jobs. That's what gave you the iconic role in as the Fez's grandmother or Janet Genovese. Like that, those are, character roles that other people may have not, if they thought they were something else, wouldn't have, it maybe went for. Is that what you mean? Like they...
Well, no, I just think like some people think that, okay, I know some actors that never work, and it will actually, the words will come out of their mouth, oh, I'm not going in for a co-star. What do you mean you're not going in for a co-star?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
What do you mean you're not going in for a co-star?
I don't want to do television. I don't want. You what? You're not doing anything.
I would be doing extra work up the kazoo if I was an actor.
But the same with comics.
Wasn't making it.
I've had comic go, well, I'm not going to drive there for that money, and I'm like, where are you? But what are you like? It's not about the one show. It's about like
building
an audience, pulling that audience, working out your hour, doing more time than you would in another spot. Like people. Unfortunately, for comedy, at least I can't speak to acting like you guys. There's so much of an investment I have to do in myself to get to the next level. Like,
yes.
Right.
It's not glorious at all. Like, that's why, like, the same when you tell people, don't tell your kids to not be an actor. They'll quit on their own once they see how hard it is. For me, it's like so many people fall to the wayside. I've seen so many funny comics that I think, oh, wait, I remember working with that person. What happened to them? People get egos. I think that's another thing.
Right.
People have an ego. They think they're better than they are.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Self-aware.
Self-awareness. Yes.
Where's
agree.
the ego coming from? What have you done that you can have this ego? Meryl Streep can have an ego. George Clooney can have an ego.
And they don't
Timothy
have an ego.
Chalamet can have an ego.
Right.
What have you done that you have this ego with nothing to stand behind it?
I just had this argument with a friend. I go, because she's so funny and she's so specific and she's so talented and she'll say no to things or she'll get upset about a certain money amount. I'm like, no, you have to. Like, that's not your only value in the dollar. The value is in the exposure. The value is in the time that you're getting, the working out your craft.
And it should be
All
fun.
of that is talent. You
and
should have
fun
every time you go up on that stage.
And
I've
fun,
had
right?
to drive to shows. Yes, you've been with me. When I've had to go city to city spot or something where it's not, we make it fun, but it's like, it's not easy.
But it is fun.
It
is
is when you're on
fun. You're
stage.
getting up there.
Yeah.
You're doing your thing. You
Right.
got your friends watching you. It's
Here's
fun.
what I say. If it was easy, then everybody'd be a star.
Who wants to just step in something? Okay, I can only talk for myself, but who wants to just step in something and just become an overnight success?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I'd want to feel all the failures. I'd want it to so that I can really appreciate the success. I mean,
No question.
Also, I'd fall much quicker if I didn't have all the experience. Now I feel like I'd be ready for certain things. Whereas
Yeah, of
if I had it
course.
overnight, I wouldn't be ready. I wouldn't be ready for every opportunity.
look at all these
Yeah.
kids, Britney Spears, all these people that go off
That
the
breaks my
deep
heart.
end after, getting young.
Yeah, here's
getting
the,
it
here's
all
the
while they
key.
were
The
young.
key is to be really good at what you do and be well liked. I always say that. If you're really good at what you do and you're well liked, you'll have success, guaranteed. People find the way to hire you and whatever you're doing, not just theater or acting or comedian, and any job you have. If you're good at what your job is and people like you, people will help you. That's just the way it is. Guaranteed.
But that's not a guarantee that you'll make it because this is not the business of guarantees.
When I say make it, I mean in any line of work. Just be good at what you do, be well liked.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
In our line of work, it's a little strange because you could be not even good and get a stupid part and then become famous. And that's the worst. That's the worst because you don't deserve it. And
Social media stars.
But sooner or later you end up fucking it up. So you end up coming down to reality.
I mean, what do you guys think of these social media people like on TikTok who are getting big roles in movies now and have no experience in acting and they're just flying by anybody that's been in the business for 20 years? Same thing with stand-up comedians too. There's people on TikTok, they're funny on TikTok, but they're selling out like arenas.
Now, Kim Kardashian is also she's an actress now. Her daughter's an actress. She's, I think,
Well, I have a thing with Kim Kardashian, and that is I give her props. I mean, here's a girl who really made something out of nothing.
I give her props.
Here's a
Yeah,
girl
you
who
always
made-
do, Kathryn.
I always did. Well,
Yeah.
here's
No,
a-
but I'm talking
she
about
made
she's not an
something out of
actress.
nothing. No, but she built an empire, a clothing, a TV show.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, man, you got to have some smarts
No,
and some
I
discipline
absolutely
I guess
agree.
there's behind the scenes where she's working with acting coaches now. I feel like she would, or anybody should put the time behind it, right?
Right.
And the training behind it once you get the opportunity. You would hope somebody would do that.
Back to your question, TikTokers
do
getting
that. Most
roles.
of these TikTokers, John, you're saying they're really not getting big roles, and if they do, you know what? That's fine. You know what? If they got 50 million people following them, and people want to hire them just for that reason, okay, I don't care because in the end, it all comes out with the wash. We'll see how long they hang there.
I guess
I
whatever it takes to get there.
I was
too.
just talking to a comedy club owner, and I was in Atlanta. It was a market I really wasn't familiar with. It wasn't a market I was going to oversell. And the owner came over to me and he said, "We're so happy to have you." And and I was like, "Oh yeah, I wish I sold a little better." And he's like, "We're not worried. You're the real deal. You'll come back and double it next time." And I was like, "Wow, that's like so not the business I thought I was in."
That's nice.
And I was like, "Thanks." And he was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Listen, all these social media people that have all these tours right now that are coming in for these their one show is going to happen here and then they're never coming back because people are going to see they don't have the chops and nobody's coming back to
Right.
see them. Whereas if me, I'm going to invest in you. I think you got the talent. And I think people will keep coming back to see you and I'll have a long existing relationship with you." I was like, wow.
That's
it's
a nice guy.
so nice to hear.
That is nice.
Shout
Right?
out
Yeah.
Atlanta, Funny Bone. That's even a punchline. That is even how a business guy thinks in a world of entertainers. I was really so impressed.
These guys, these people on TikTok who make a lot of money for all these years, they're making money. I say, great, but you better save your money. Because all this is not going to be around. I mean, and just save all your money, put it away, and be happy that you had your shot.
Well,
That's all
I
I'm
know there's one comic in particular that all the comedians are mad at because this kid got famous on TikTok. He did crowd work. He got his first special on Netflix, didn't do too well, and then he got a $25 million deal from Netflix just because he has a large following on
I know
TikTok.
who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
so do I.
Everybody knows who
Yeah,
I'm talking
yeah.
about. But and a lot of comedians are really mad that he just slingshotted in
But
ahead of
wasn't
them.
he a comic for years?
He was a comic for years. He started doing well on TikTok, but then once
Yeah.
his special came out, people were like, "Yeah, he doesn't really have stand-up talent.
Right.
He has crowd work talent."
Right.
And he tried in his special. He tried to do regular stand-up, didn't do well, but he still got a $25 million deal and catapulted ahead of 99% of comedians out there.
Well, he probably didn't. When you say it didn't do well, it probably had, for them to give him 25 million. His special had to do pretty well.
The Reddit threads were brutal.
The what?
Reddit threads, like where people leave their honest feedback.
But yes, so I know, but forget that. How did
Everybody tunes in to watch it, though.
How
Yes.
did he do with hits?
Yeah, I guess everybody did tune in to watch it because they kind of wanted to see him fall.
Wow.
But it's
Well,
sold out.
yes, but you got 25 million followers, John. That's a lot of people, bro.
$25 million. That's what he got for his Netflix
yeah.
deal. Yeah.
But
What?
isn't it
Did you write a
talent?
crowd work special and something else?
It's
This
talent
Right.
and luck.
And luck. Yeah.
So that's luck.
And also, there was a lot of work put behind. I can speak to it. Doing social media is a job, and it's a hard one, and it's like constant, and it's time consuming.
Look
and
what we're
it's
doing. We
taxing.
come back, we do the
Yeah.
show. You know, we have
Yeah.
I love doing the show, but you know, I mean, I have millions of people that see us every month, but you know, I don't worry, and I don't care about how many I get. I do shows because I like them. You know, I like being with.
Would
the
you
girls
still
and-
do? Would you still do this show if you had hardly any views? You'd still do it?
Yeah, I can't imagine not having views.
No, I'm saying
Yeah,
if you
I think
didn't.
you're in a unique
fake
position
scenario.
too, where you were already.
I was
famous.
already famous when
Yeah.
I started the show, so that was good.
Yeah.
And I just love doing it. I love talking. I love sharing insight and listening to other insight and having interesting guests on. You know, I enjoy that.
In all honesty, I think it keeps you sharp, up to date, and in tune with
Yeah.
your audience.
Yeah. I mean, these people at TikTok, you know, again, I say, I don't begrudge anybody who makes it. As long as you're not hurting anyone or killing someone, no matter how you make it, that's fine.
But that doesn't insult you as actors and actresses. Like, say you guys have been working your whole life to be actors and actresses,
Right.
and then somebody on TikTok gets a lead role and gets paid more than you would in a film. That doesn't
Yeah.
insult you?
It doesn't insult me.
We can't take it personal.
I can't take it personal, John. And you know what? I can't control that. So why worry about it? Too many people get very upset about too many things. You know, I'm at the point now in my life, I'm older than Kathrine, I'm older than Tara. You get to a certain age. I remember my mother and father, and I would say, and my father would go, what are you going to do? And I say, man, he's just taking that on the chin. you know?
Yeah.
What are you
What are you
gonna
going to do? It is what it is.
It is what it is. And I understand that now. I'm not going to get myself upset. I care about myself, my family, my children, my close friends, and any other bullshit that goes by me. I go, Somebody said something bad about you. So what?
Yeah. You're good like that, though.
Yeah.
I saw you handle a couple of things
It
really
doesn't,
good.
I don't care.
You know what? That attitude, I kind of feel like, is one of the perks to actually working for your work and getting to where you guys are. Because I was the same way when I got into video production. I was so mad when I saw other people with less talent getting more work than me. Now I'm at the point I'm just like, who gives a shit?
Who gives a
You're
shit?
turning
It's out of
down
your
work now, though.
control what they get.
It's
but
out of your control.
It's in your control how you handle it. And I feel the same way.
That's exactly right.
You're asking, TikTokers, when I see these young kids, they're all young kids to me, most of them, making it on TikTok, they're still getting up doing their thing. It's like doing a podcast. It's like doing any job. It takes time to put those videos out. It takes time to make them. They are working. They are paying somebody to film them. Why shouldn't they have success? And if it happens to be that platform, some of them make millions. I was listening to these two young girls talking on Big Daddy, I think it's called, or something Daddy,
Yeah.
a podcast.
Call me daddy.
Call Me Daddy. This one girl, I think, was making like $5 million a month. And I was like, I actually put in the comments, good for this kid. God bless this kid. You got up, you're doing something. You're not walking around complaining with a bad attitude. You're adding something. And if you got all these people liking you, you're doing something good in the world. You're not out doing drugs. You're not ODing on fentanyl. And you got happy parents watching their kid be successful.
You know what? Don't begrudge somebody else's success. I never did. You know what? The only thing I say about to them is like, hey, save your money. Because you don't want to end up in rehab. You know, like one day you look back and you have no money saved and you're not as famous as you were anymore. Because this is not forever, babe. It's not forever. So put your money away. I always tell people that.
Yeah, the next social media platform is going to take over that, and then there's going to be another wave of kids who are making all that money.
Yeah, don't forget all the famous people that were on MySpace when that first came out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's gone now. So this happens to everyone. All of a sudden the government gets an attitude. It's like, you know what? With this China thing, shut it down.
Yeah,
they can shut it down.
It's scary. You think about just a platform being your only. That's why I'm like constantly trying everything, you know, because it's like you can't be reliant on one person, one platform, you know.
And it's another thing in this business. The worst thing you could be in this business or any arts, any form of the arts, is feel jealousy. We're all going to have a healthy dose of, oh, I wish I could have had that. I could have got that. But that's healthy. I never felt, I really didn't, I don't feel jealousy. I always said, especially if it's one of my friends, that we both do the same thing. We're alike. I'm always like, well, I'm glad it's her because that's in my circle still. And it gives me hope. Oh, she got the job. That means I'm in that close circle. That means, oh, it's going that way for like, I don't know, Italian actresses. Then that gives me a shot. And it always made me feel better when somebody in my close circle got it. You can't be jealous of something that's not yours. You got to say, well, that wasn't your role. It's not yours. But somebody's going to be looking at you when you get the role.
Right.
And you're going to be happy, and they should celebrate you. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, people don't realize the joke in life is the more happy you are for other people's success, the more success is open to you. You have to realize that. Because when you're bitter and when you're mad that they got a part, you're not open to the vibrations and feelings of the world.
I love that.
You're not open to it.
That's right.
So I'm like, yes, good for them.
You always had that attitude. As long as I know you, you always had that attitude. I'm glad. I'm happy for this one. I'm happy for that one. Always.
And that's why.
You too. You always the championing of the. I always see you both doing it. You do it all the time, Kathrine.
Good. I'm glad.
Yes, you are, Kathrine.
Yeah.
So are you.
I am happy for
I
other
always
people.
want to see other people do it.
That's because I'm happy. At the end of the day, it's an inside job. You got to be happy with yourself.
Right.
Period.
And
End
also,
of story.
if you're competing, it's really the biggest competition I ever am is with myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did I do last night? How were my sales last time? How was this? Like, I'm always competing against Tara last year, Tara last week, Tara last night.
Yeah.
Like
And how is she going to do better?
How is she doing better? So I'm in competition. It's just usually with myself.
That's great.
That's a great way to put it. I feel like a lot of the times the people who are bitter are the people who aren't doing it. You know, they're looking at you being like, oh, it's such a simple idea. I could have done that.
If you
but they're
have
not.
that much time, then you're not working enough.
You know,
then you're not working hard enough.
Yeah.
There was a guy, I won't say his name because he's very famous, and I was sitting on the beach in Malibu. He had a house in Malibu, this guy. You know, one of those houses in the colony.
Oh, yeah. I love it. The colony.
15 million.
Yeah.
What up? So I'm sitting there with him, and he's talking to me. And he has another house up in Bel Air. Another house, 25 million. 25 million house.
Yeah.
15 million house here.
Yeah.
And we're just sitting there. We're sitting on a bench. We're just talking. And he says to me, I don't know, Chazz. I'm so fucked up. I said, what are you talking about? What's the matter? I'm like,
He's telling the right person this.
you know, I go, what's the matter? He goes, I just can't get to the next level. And I go, what level are you talking about? I'm just curious, my man. What level are you talking? He goes, you know, movie star.
This is an actor?
Very famous actor. And I say to him, let me ask you something. You were in two of the biggest TV shows.
Tell us who it is.
No, I will
I'm
not.
kidding. I'm kidding.
You were in 2
When the cameras are off.
of the TV shows of all time, the biggest,
Wow.
famous shows. I said, you owned one of them. I know personally that you got a check for $200 million.
We know who it is now.
Well, you don't know who it is. So I said, so listen to me. And you're telling me you want to get to the next level? I said, let me tell you something, my friend.
I told you he said it to the right
I
person.
said, if nothing ever happens to you from now on, you're playing with fucking house money. Maybe you just got enough. Maybe, I said, right now, you should go in PCH right now, stand the fuck up, and go do a fucking tap dance. Because that's your life. Your life is fucking incredible. How the fuck could you don't have the fucking right to be depressed because you're not one of the 5 big movie stars.
Wow. What'd he say?
I started crying and he apologized to me. And he said, you're right. And he hugged me. He goes, thanks, bro. And
You started crying?
He did.
Do you think he just needed to hear it?
Yeah. I don't think anybody ever talked to him like that before.
Wow.
I said, if nothing happens to you from now on, ever, you're playing with fucking house money.
I hope somebody has to yell at me like that one day.
Wow, man. That's I'm glad.
And he never forgot that.
Good.
Till this day.
Good.
You know, I mean, what is it? You want to be Denzel Washington now? What about this other stuff? That didn't count? I mean, you got to admit, Kathrine, you got to be grateful too.
He's got to go walk to unemployment. You should have drove him there.
No, but he doesn't have to.
You should have drove him to unemployment.
He's worth fucking hundreds of millions. You don't have to. Come on,
I
babe.
wonder what status overrules in people's head, what they think. That's ego to me. To me, that's got to be ego. Then, if you just want to be a name in a category, and you have all this money, and you had 2 of the biggest things, and you have, I mean, to me, that's like a different
That's
level.
what?
That's like
What's he
Kathrine
doing
said,
now that he
ego.
doesn't have a house there anymore?
Well, I guess he sold. I think he sold his house. Yeah, he sold it.
It didn't burn.
Yeah, he sold that house.
Oh.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, bro. Let's fucking be grateful. Could we be grateful here a little bit? Really, I mean, I've never seen it like that. I've seen people that do well, but never like that.
I can't speak on that level. I will say sometimes I call it which he's not in. I call it the messy middle. I saw
love
that
those.
phrase where I go, I had 3 shows in Florida, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could have done this. And I'm like, wow, shut up. Because last year, you wish you had this money and this opportunity. Sometimes you're so in it that you're already thinking of the next level that I go, I'm not even being grateful for right now.
Yeah.
Granted, I'm not comparing it to somebody else's sales. I'm comparing it to myself. But still, I'm comparing. I'm still not being grateful enough in the moment because I'm going, oh, if I could have done this, or, if
when people say things like that to me, like, oh, do you wish this about your career or that about your career? It's like, to me, a Debbie Downer. Because it's like, no, I'm happy right now.
I'm very happy.
I mean, of course, I want to work more consistently. I don't like the long spaces in between, but thank God for the actor's studio to keep my instrument going.
Right.
But I don't like the dead space at all. I don't allow dead space. That's why I don't even really, watch a lot of TV or any of that. I don't do any of that. I'm always trying to do something creative and keep it going, in between. But I'm very grateful for what I have, and I'm grateful for
be grateful.
Where
That's
I
the
am.
key. There was this comic. I forgot his name. I think his last name is Carr, C-A-R. He's a British
Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy Carr.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one who said it. He said this thing. Now, I don't know how old you are. I forget how old you are. You're both young women.
Yeah, in our 30s. Continue.
Whatever. But in 30 or 40 years from now, you would give me everything that you own, all the money that you have, everything that you're worth, to be right back here now. You would. You would.
Yeah.
You might do it. Just to be right back here at this part of your life and do it again. So why not just be happy now?
I love that.
The way he said that was like,
I'm always happy. I want a Bloody Mary right now.
so let's go have one.
Let's go get one.
All right. Here we go, folks. Thank you for coming to the Chazz Palminteri show. We always like to have these insightful conversations with the girls. Don't forget my restaurant, 264 Main Street, 30 West 46th Street. Mention my name. You get free desserts. Great desserts.
Wow.
Do they have Bloody Marys there?
No, we have the best drinks there.
They have the espresso martini of a lifetime.
martini.
Maybe that's what you'll get. We'll go right now.
Don't forget, check out my wine, Chazz Palminteri wine at Stu Leonard's. All the Stu Leonard's all over. My cigars, LG Cigars, right, John?
LCGcigars.com.
LCG Cigars. Number 4 in the world, number 8 in the world with the Bronx Tail line. We have the Bronx Tail, the Cologio, and now the Sunny just came out.
In the world?
Oh, the
In the
cigars?
world.
Wow.
In the world. Number 4 from Boutique Cigars and number 8 from Boutique Cigars.
Wow.
So check them out. God bless. See you next week.